me know, Almas, if you can see the screen.
Yes, Niharika, it is there.
Excellent. So thank you everybody for joining in today, Monday evening. I know it's crazy for most of us. I just finished one session and joined this one. So I can imagine it must be very busy for all of you. So welcome to the session. Thank you ICAE for organizing this session and helping us to connect virtually at the moment. I represent the University of Windsor and I'm joined here with my colleague Dina Wong, who is joining us directly from Windsor, Canada. And it's early morning for her and she's here to interact with all of you, and we look forward to a lot of questions at the end of the presentation. So just to give you a brief about the university, this is a comprehensive research-based university in Canada. It is based in the Ontario province of Canada. So if you have a look at the map here, you will see that we are at the southernmost tip of Ontario province, so right next to Detroit. Detroit is our neighbor. It is one of the busiest border crossings between the two countries. And we are not very far away from a few of the big cities in Ontario province, like Toronto, London. Toronto is just 3 hours, 40 minutes drive from Windsor, and London is about 2 hours away from Windsor. So people who want to experience that big city thing in Ontario, in Canada, they can do that over the weekends. And Windsor is a medium-sized city, and we have a lot of opportunities, a lot of things to get yourselves engaged in when you are staying at Windsor. Moving on to why Windsor. Windsor, Essex is home to 5 of the 10 safest communities in Canada. I know when students are looking for options abroad, this is one of the criteria, whether it is safe and secure as a city, as a place, as a campus. So we pay a lot of attention to the safety and security of the people who stay in Windsor and our students, especially the international students. We are an international border city. Because it is a border city, it has a lot of diversity. A lot of people like to stay closer to the borders so that there are ample opportunities as far as work is concerned, as far as cultural exchanges are concerned. So we also have a pretty decent cost of living, so moderate cost of living, in fact. So people choose it as their homes for longer periods of time. The population of the city is around 217,000 at the moment. We are right next to a water body, which makes the weather quite pleasant. Most of the time, we have 7 months of short sleeve weather. I have had colleagues who say that, who vouch that they have experienced 4 different weathers in Windsor. So it is pretty okay to settle down, or pretty okay to get acclimatized within 2 to 3 months of reaching there. We also provide excellent employment and experiential learning opportunities to our international students. A lot of these opportunities are embedded into our programs. So the students are able to do these or take upon these opportunities when they are studying with us. Giving you a bit of the history of the university, we were established in 1954 as a public institution in Canada, although we have been giving out educational qualifications since 1857. So 150 years of giving out these educational qualifications, quality educational qualifications. And finally, in 54, we were established as a public university. It is a medium-sized university. As I mentioned earlier, we have around 16,000 students studying across 9 different faculties. 23% of them are international students. So when students are looking for degrees abroad, that is the first thing that they want to experience. They want to get that international feel. They want to sit in a classroom with people from different nationalities. They want to be taught by professors from different nationalities. So we try and give them that sort of experience when they are doing their degrees from the university. We also have 70 plus master's and doctorate degree programs at this university. So after the students finish their undergrad, they have the opportunity to pursue master's degrees and also PhD programs. So a lot of research activity goes on at this university. That's why we're called a comprehensive university in Canada. There are plenty of opportunities to get involved on campus, 200 plus student clubs and societies. So these can be related to art, theater, music. We have reading clubs, we have walking clubs, hiking clubs. So a lot of activities that the students can get involved in when they are studying with us. These are the kind of faculties that we have on at this university, and all these degrees are accredited by Ontario Quality Council. So the quality of the degree is pretty good. It is recognized all across the globe. So the students will not face any issues if they plan to go to some other country after finishing the degree. They can customize these degrees. Canadian education is very flexible. The system is very flexible. So you can take majors and minors, you can combine degrees, you can do a business program along with a computer science degree too. So there are double major options. There are interdisciplinary options that the students can take. And the most important aspect of a Canadian education is the kind of experiential learning opportunity that is involved. So that gives an extra edge to people who go in for a Canadian education. These are co-op opportunities, internship opportunities embedded into their degrees. So at the end of the 4 years, they are able to get these opportunities on their transcripts, on their degree certificates, where these qualifications or these opportunities will be highlighted. And when the employers, prospective employers, are looking at their CVs and at their certificates, they will know that they've had some sort of Canadian experience in terms of work opportunities too. On your screen are some of the popular programs. We have 120, very difficult to list all of them, but I've just listed a few which are very popular with Indian students. We have business-oriented programs. So Bachelor of Commerce has specializations in accounting, finance, HR, marketing, strategy and entrepreneurship, supply chain. So a lot of options for the students. We also have Bachelor of Sciences, where apart from the traditional physics, chemistry, biology, we also have very upcoming programs like forensics, computer science, or medical physics. So these are some of the programs that the students can look at when they're looking at the science faculty. We also have engineering specializations, one of the few universities who has a wide variety of engineering specializations. We have civil, electrical, environmental, industrial. Mechanical has its own specializations. So within the mechanical specializations, the students can choose automotive, aerospace, materials engineering, environmental engineering. So there are plenty of options for students to choose from. We also have human kinetics or kinesiology related programs where you have movement sciences and sports management as some of the specializations. Bachelor of Arts and Humanities, which is one of the largest faculties at this university, has programs related to criminology, communication and media, political science, psychology, sociology, visual arts, and many more. So these are various programs, 4-year degree programs. The asterisks that you see on the right-hand side corner of these programs indicate that we have co-ops embedded into these programs. So starting from the second year onward, when they choose their specializations, they will be able to do at least a term of co-op each year. Obviously, they need to maintain a good CGPA, they need to pass their programs, and only then these opportunities will be available. But they would be able to get some hands-on learning experience while they are doing these particular programs from these faculties. So this is a list of programs that where we have co-op opportunities available. So be it a business degree, computer science, engineering, human kinetics, chemistry, biochemistry, physics-related programs, we have co-ops embedded in them. And these are the kind of employers who have been in touch with our co-op department, with our career department. They have absorbed students for co-op opportunities or for full-time work opportunities after our students have cleared the program, completed their degrees. So there is a lot of connect with the industry. We do host career fairs, we do host job fairs on campus, so the students are able to interact with representatives from these companies and many more. These are just a few names that we could list here. but there are many more companies which come on campus and recruit students for various opportunities. I mentioned experiential learning in the initial talk, and we have cooperative education as a part of our 4-year degrees. At the master's level, they are not embedded, but at the undergrad level, they have cooperative education as a part of the academic progress. So there are internship opportunities, field placement opportunities, clinical placement opportunities, whichever faculty has that sort of connection and that sort of specialization. The university's co-op team will help the students and they will not feel lost. They can also look out for these opportunities on their own, but the co-op department is very actively involved with these employers that I've mentioned earlier, and they should be able to get these opportunities. While the students are doing these 4-year degrees, they are allowed to work part-time. So this is a question I get asked many a times in these sessions. So the students, international students, are allowed to work part-time for 20 hours a week. There are on-campus opportunities. For example, students can work with our international student service. They can work with the office that Dina and I are a part of, the Office of Enrollment Management. They can work with our accommodation services too. So we are always on the lookout of interns. International students fit the bill very nicely. So they have on-campus work opportunities, they have off-campus jobs available. So they can work in stores, they can work in restaurants, they can find out these opportunities while they are studying or staying in Windsor. After they finish their 4-year undergrad degree, they get a 3-year of stayback option, which is guaranteed, which is given by the Canadian government. The students who are doing their 4-year degrees from DLIs, from recognized public institutions, they're allowed to stay back for 3 years, which is a good enough time or ample time to look out for full-time jobs. Mostly, we have had students getting placed within 2 years of graduating from their programs. So we have had a good track record, and hopefully once things are under control after the pandemic, the job market will look up and will have plenty of opportunities. There are opportunities to get involved as well. So as international students, they have clubs and societies, they have recreation opportunities, they can do a lot of volunteer work while they are students at this university. They also are guided, or we prepare them with a lot of workshops. So there are resume writing workshops, there are workshops to prepare them for the first day of their interview. A lot of things and assistance are given by the university's various departments for them to get into the real world after completing their education here at this university. Moving on to admission requirements, we are looking at a minimum of 70%. They should have a full diploma. I know there would be some counselors from international board schools, so they should have a full IB diploma. If students are coming from national boards, they're looking at a minimum of 70 to 80%, depending on which faculty they choose. Minimum requirement is 70%, and then depending on the faculties like engineering, sciences, they would require maths as one of the elements in their 11th and 12th. And students will also need IELTS. 6.5 overall is what we are looking at. I would suggest that you go on to our faculty websites to check individual faculty requirements, but in general, this is what we are looking at. So IB students need a minimum of 28 points to qualify, and students from national boards need 70% or equivalent. If there are any students with the British curriculum background, they need 5 passes on the General Certificate of Education with 3 at the advanced, at the higher level. So these are our basic requirements for entry into our programs. The next question, I'm sure, which is in on your minds, is the tuition fees. We have a very competitive fee structure. The arts and humanities starts with 28,000 Canadian dollars, and the highest one would be around the computer science faculty. It would be around 34,000 Canadian dollars. So it ranges between 28 to 34,000 Canadian dollars. And this is, if you compare it with other similarly ranked universities or medium-sized universities, it is a very comprehensive or competitive fee structure that we offer. We also have scholarships to give out. So students who are meritorious, who have been performing well, you know that they have been doing well in 10th, 11th, and 12th. The minimum requirement is 85% or equivalent in other boards. So if they have been meritorious students, they will be automatically assessed for our entrance scholarships. And they range between 500 to 1,000 CADs per semester. We also have 2,500 Canadian dollar scholarships for students who are meritorious. They don't have to do anything, they just have to apply and we will assess them automatically. But there are certain scholarships which are for higher denominations. So there is a Dean's Excellence Scholarship for 10,000 Canadian dollars. There is a Presidential Scholarship for 16,000 Canadian dollars, for which they will need to fill up an awards profile. I will be able to guide you through it once the student applies and holds an offer letter. Just highlight the case to me. If you're counselors, parents, you can get in touch with me. I will be sharing my coordinates later. And I will guide you through the scholarship process for people who are 90 percenters, very good IB marks like 34 and above. We should be able to reward you with some sort of scholarship. Moving on to the residential part, the campus living part, where my colleague Dina will take over. Over to you, Dina.
Thank you, Niharika. So I'm really glad I have the opportunity to join Niharika and everyone here to talk a little bit about our campus living and the student services at the University of Windsor. So if we go to the next slide, you will be able to see the 4 different kind of layout. Niharika will be able to help me to move the slide.
Is it visible, Dina?
Perfect now. Yeah, it's great. Thank you. So in the residence services, there are 4 kind of layouts of residence. So there are traditional 2 beds and accommodations. There are also like a single bedroom unit that where you're going to share the bathroom and the little kitchen with your roommate. So this is the traditional layout. So we have 4 buildings. And right now, we're not really putting students together in the shared room. So it's all single occupancy during the COVID time. But right now we still have almost 600 students staying on campus, a lot less than what we had before. But considering it is a pandemic and things are not fully back to normal, the number of students choosing to stay on campus is still very impressive. And then there are a lot of places a student can stay in Windsor, no matter it's on campus or off campus. And one of the advantages of staying on campus is you're right at the center of the campus. You're really close to all the facilities and classrooms, and there are residence assistants on each floor and dedicated residence staff to be on site 24/7. So if you need any assistance, there is in any emergency, our staff will be on call 24/7. So I see Niharika has like a little BFF, so stamps on the presentation, because it is a really good place for our student to make friends at the residence, because they do have a lot of activities and at the residence. So it is a great opportunity to create some bondings with our with other students. And in terms of other services, like at the University of Windsor, our campus is almost like a little community. So you can study here, you can use the gym here, and we have the we have the mental counseling, we have the dental clinic, we have the doctor's office to do flu shots, to see the students, prescribe medicines. We also have a pharmacy. You can pick up your meds, you can clean your teeth every 3-4 months, and it's all free. It is part of your insurance. And then not only on also like the services you can receive, but also academic support like advising. There will be dedicated advisors who help you to decide what would be the best classes for you to take each semester. And a lot of international students may struggle with writing in English because although English is one of the common language or official language in many parts of the world, but maybe the word of choice is different, or the academic writing requirement is also very particular. We want to make sure our students know the expectation to write a properly, correctly with their research paper, with their essays. So there are free writing support available to help students to identify the common grammar mistakes or writing issues they have so that they can correct, and they will also improve on their marks. So the next slide is about one of the most important services we have for our international student is the services at the International Student Center. So this is a place where we call this home away from home for our international student. Is truly a hub for international students. Before the pandemic, students would just hang out at the International Student Center, and students will come out to get together. Students will come to our events. For example, there are Christmas party, there were a Thanksgiving party, there's celebration for Canada Day. There are also a lot of celebration of light, for example, Diwali, and there's celebration of Chinese New Year's. So there are all kind of activities, movie nights with the popcorns. So the International Student Center is dedicated to make sure students have a lot of activities and they feel welcomed and they're settled. And for one of the very important services provided by the ICAE is the immigration advising. So there are 2 dedicated advisors who are licensed as a regulated immigration advisors by Canadian government. So they will be able to provide you information on how to extend your study permit, how to apply for the US visa when you want to go to the United States, and how you can apply for post-graduation work permit. They also have the connections with our immigration officer located in Windsor. So there are some workshops about how can you become an immigrant in Canada. So at University of Windsor, we're trying to provide all kinds of services to make sure our students are successful, no matter they were a student at the University of Windsor or after they graduate and they can successfully find a job. And this picture that we have here is taken at downtown Windsor. We have a couple of buildings on at the riverfront, right downtown in Windsor. And behind the scene, you can see all those buildings, the brown buildings there. Those are actually United States. So we're literally just a river across from, like Niharika mentioned, from the United States. Before the pandemic, many of our students would be able to finish their school, get on the bus or a car, go to the US in just a few minutes. So we're hoping that we will be able to welcome you all at our beautiful city and campus soon. So as Niharika mentioned, that she's here to support all our students here, and she's very knowledgeable. And once you submit the application, she will be able to help you to speed up your application process. She will guide you through about the visa, the scholarship, everything you want to know, and she knows it all. And she's here to help you, and we're all here to help you. So I also see some questions. Whenever you guys are ready, we can open to some questions maybe.
I guess, Niharika, we're done with the presentation, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
So we
we
can
take
actually,
questions. I'll
Okay, we
stop
can
sharing.
move. Yeah. So we can move ahead with the Q&As now. So anyone, if you have any question, just unmute yourself and ask that question. And we have already have few questions in the chat box also.
Yes,
So
I
we
think
can
I saw
start.
that.
Yeah, we can start with that. So
Yeah,
I guess Dina
earlier,
has already answered few of them.
yeah, I think maybe we want to take a little bit of time to talk a little bit about
Yeah.
co-op. I
Yeah.
think co-op is a very interesting term for a lot of our students outside of Canada, because in many parts of the world, they call it internship, where in Canada, internship can be either paid or not paid, where co-op is a very unique term. And for cooperative education, Niharika mentioned that we have quite a bit of program has as a co-op. So co-op program is supported by Canadian government. So from student end, student will be able to join this program and work in the industry and get paid and get the field experience. And where on the employer side, if they hire a co-op student, they will get a tax rebate later on. So employers have the incentive from the government to hire our students. So it is a really great way to help our students to integrate it to the industry they want to work in. And many of our students, once they graduated and they find the jobs right away, either in the place where they did a co-op or another employer. So it creates an opportunity for students to find the jobs. Also, some of the co-op experience are overseas. So this is a very unique concept, is when you can work, you can not just work in Canada, but also you can work in overseas. For example, I know a lot of students from India, they're very interested in engineering programs. And for our engineering programs, we have a established partnership with a lot of employers in Germany. So we have quite a bit of students, no matter domestic or international, they would do their co-op in Germany and then work there for a semester or two and come back, have a different kind of experience, and then also make money at the same time. So that's a little bit about the co-op.
I can see a question about maths also. Is maths compulsory in 11th and 12th? So for engineering, sciences, and business related programs, so any BSc, any BEng, BASc in engineering we have, and any business related programs, you need maths in 11th and 12th. In case the students don't have maths, we also accept, for our business program, we accept the SAT score. So 550 is the minimum SAT maths requirement. In case they're applying for other faculties, they can give a virtual high school exam, which is accepted by most of the Ontario-based universities. So it's an online examination. They can sit for programs like calculus, vector, advanced functions, and get the required maths elements in their 11th and 12th, and then apply to these programs. So there are ways around. In case you have any specific students that you want to recommend or refer, I would be more than happy to guide you with the application process and how to work around these sort of entry requirements.
I guess we have a question from Tanvi also. I can see a raised hand there.
Sure. Go ahead, Tanvi. You can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, hey, so I was thinking of applying for the courses for psychology. Can you elaborate, like what all courses do we have in psychology? Because most of the universities that I've researched have this one basic undergraduate program that's a basic one, and then when we go for our masters, we specialize into one field. And yeah, so like, do we have any co-op programs for psychology as well?
So when you're choosing the psychology option, Tanvi, at this university, there would be modules related to child development. There would be modules related to organizational behavior. If you have a maths, you can also do modules related to cognitive and neurosciences. So these options are available within the 4-year degree of psychology. Co-ops are not embedded into our arts and faculty programs, but if you are a student, if you've been doing well, you can find these opportunities in the 2nd and 3rd year. Keep in touch with the co-op department, keep a lookout for these internship opportunities, and I'm sure you should be able to do at least a term or two, either find it on your own or keep in touch with a co-op department, and they will help you and they will guide you where to look out for these opportunities for, and you should be able to do at least a term or two.
Yeah, and
I
tell me about the percentage requirements, like what is the minimum percentage required to get into the program for psychology? It's for like
70, 70.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Niharika, if I may, I'll jump in for a little
Sure.
bit. And for Tammy, for psychology, we have child psychology, we have developmental psychology, we also have behavior, cognition, and neuroscience, which is a very popular program. Disability studies and psychology. Student can also do business administration and psychology. So, and there are quite a few more other psychology programs for you to choose from. And then although Niharika said we don't have co-op, which is true, but psychology, there are lots of also practicums or observations. You will be able to get involved to get some hands-on experience and case studies as well. And a lot of people didn't really realize that Windsor as a place located in the heart of the automotive capital in North America, we're actually very famous for our child psychology. So we have our psychology from undergrad all the way to PhD, and student who graduate from the clinical PhD, they will be able to practice in Canada. So that would be a really good choice if that's your interest. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Tina. I think I can see Mrinal's hand up too. So Mrinal, please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to know more about MBA in economics.
MBA in economics, are you just interested in the economics aspect? See, basically, we have an MBA program which will touch upon all sorts of management modules. So this is a 14-month program where you will be doing modules related to entrepreneurship, strategy, human resource, marketing, economics. Dina, would economics be a part of the modules? I'm not too sure whether economics will be taught within it, but we don't have a specialization in MBA. It will be a generic MBA program where you can, experience all sorts of modules related to management. But we do have Masters of Management program where there are specializations. So if you're looking at a specialized management degree, then we have specializations in human resource. We have a specialization in accounting and finance. We have a specialization in business data analytics, and also global logistics and supply chain. So if you're looking at specialized masters, then MOM would be a better option, but MBA would be more generic in terms of courses.
So before moving on to Anzala's question, I just want to take two questions from the chat box. One is IELTS compulsory for the Indian students? And second one is the duration of the computer science courses.
So IELTS is definitely required when you are applying for a Canadian visa. So we always ask the students to give us an IELTS score and get the visa faster. But as a university, 6.5 IELTS is what we look at. If you're coming from a background of an international school like IB curriculum, you've studied for 3-4 years, then we may be able to exempt you, but that discretion is on the registrar's office. Send us the details, be in touch with our registrar's office, and we will have a look at your school's profile, see the kind of quality of school you are coming from, and then try to exempt you. But I always suggest students to go in for IELTS because it makes the visa process very easy.
So Anjala, you can go ahead with your question now.
Good evening, everyone. I actually wanted to know, ma'am, about the BBA courses. Like, are there any BBA courses available?
Tina, do you want to go ahead answering that?
Sure, definitely. So yes, the answer is definitely yes. We have a Bachelor of Business Administration, and then under it, we have a lot of specialization. So student can choose from marketing and to accounting, finance, human resources, international business, and strategy and entrepreneurship, supply chain and business. And if you want, you can also do business administration and economics, business and computer science, business and mathematics, business and political science, or business and psychology, women's studies. And there's so many options, and that will open up for your future employment as well. So there are lots of selection. Business also has co-op, and it is a accredited program as well. So this is one of our well-known program in Canada.
And just to add that you will need a maths to qualify for a business program. So I know a lot of students don't take maths when they choose commerce as a specialization in India, but you need a maths component to qualify for a business.
Thank you, Niharika. We missed one question, duration of the computer science course.
4 years. Most of the programs that we offer are for 4-year duration in most Canadian colleges. So it's 4 years.
So I have a question from Ms. Swati Watts. Swati, if you can just switch on your camera and ask that question.
Yes, I did not take up that question because I wanted to see or hear her. Hi,
Yeah.
Swati.
Yeah, hi Niharika. Thank you, Almas. So actually, I'm not switching on my camera because I'm actually just going back to my house. I'm on my way back. Today we had a
No
long
problem.
day at school. So Niharika, actually one of my students is planning to apply, and he unfortunately has got a 4 in MAAHL, and he's very keen on applying to Windsor for engineering program. So I was just curious to know that with the 4, what are the chances of the student, like whether he should apply or like, and these are his this is what he has received as of now. So it's a predicted grade of his.
Okay, so he might be able to improve the scores later, right?
Yes.
So he can apply, Swati. He can apply and with the predicted grades, and we will have a look once his final results are there. But for a conditional offer, he can apply, and we will be giving the conditions for a final grade.
Wonderful. And another question, which is related only for engineering, is it necessary to have a combination of physics, chemistry, and maths to apply for engineering, like at Windsor?
Physics and maths is what we ask for. Is chemistry, if he doesn't have, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem, Swati. See you soon, hopefully.
Thank you, Swati.
Of course. Thanks.
So any more questions that you want to ask, you can go ahead and type it in the chat box, or just unmute yourself and ask the question. So I had seen one question here related to mass communication courses, University of, mass comm courses.
Yes. Sure. So we don't call our courses in media mass communication, but we have a communication, media, and arts program, which is a 4-year degree. So you can look at applying to that program. So people, after they complete their course, they can get into journalism, they can get into publishing, they can get into various broadcasting corporations. So these programs, this program in communication, media and arts will help you. We have a film element also there in this program where you can get into filmmaking while you are studying this degree. So there are options, but we don't call it mass communication as we call it here in India.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, we have a question from Namra. She says she wants to know more about masters in psychology.
All right. Dina, do you want to talk about it?
Yes, definitely. So for the program in terms of the psychology, we have a clinical psychology for master of at level and also at a PhD level. So we also have applied social psychology at master level and PhD level. So applied social psychology is more like hands-on to help students to become like scholars, researchers, or practitioners because it's more hands-on. And the other one is clinical psychology to become registered or licensed like a psychologist so that they can practice not just in Canada, but also in the United States. And then so, however, both programs require students to have a supervisor, no matter they're at the master level or PhD level, no matter if it is applied social psychology or clinical psychology, you do need to have a supervisor, which is can make the process competitive because there are funding constraints and the availability of the supervisor depends on what you want to study, depends on if the government provides enough funding. So the seats can be extremely limited. Therefore, the competition is really high. So that's what we have seen in the past.
And just to add to what my colleague Dina mentioned here, you also need a 4-year degree to qualify. So most of our psychology programs in India, Dina, are 3-year degrees. So students will not be able to get directly into the program at the master's level. It's the same with international relations. I think the next question in the chat box is about a master's in IR. So if you have a 3-year degree in political science, sociology, you cannot directly apply to our master's in international relations. You need to have a master's from India to qualify for our master's there.
So any more questions, you can go ahead, drop it in the chat box. Just unmute yourself. So we have, how about PhD in international development?
PhD applications are directly dealt by the faculty. So you will have to identify the research area that you want to get affiliated to, send your thesis proposal to the supervisor who's heading that research area. And in case they approve of it, then they will guide you with the application process. So the first step is to identify the research area. On our website, there are different areas given, and you will have to send your thesis proposal to our supervisors, and then they will take a final decision on your application.
So there's one question from, okay. She hasn't mentioned for what kind of courses she wants to know. She wanted to know about SAT, I guess. I missed that question somewhere. So if you can elaborate on SAT.
Yeah, SAT scores are required only if you don't have a maths element in your 11th and 12th, and if you're applying for our business programs. Otherwise, we don't need SAT. We're just looking at your 10th and 12th qualifications. SAT is not mandatory, but in case you don't have a maths in your 11th and 12th and you're wanting to apply for a business-oriented program, then we can look at your SAT marks and exempt you from that mandatory requirement. Otherwise, SAT is not required to get admission into Canadian universities.
If you can elaborate on computer science related programs, Niharika.
So computer science has 3 specializations. You can choose the BSc in computer science, and then from second year onwards, you can choose a specialization in software engineering, applied computing, or information systems. So these are the 3 specializations within the computer science. As we mentioned earlier, I think Dina and I have mentioned many a times that you can combine different degrees. So you can do a computer science bachelor's majors, and you can do, say, a business minor. You can do an economics minor along with it. So there is a lot of flexibility, and there is a lot of interdisciplinary approach as far as the Faculty of Computer Science is concerned. It has co-ops, so it is a very good option for you. And we are in the middle of a lot of IT firms. So you can get co-op opportunities very easily in and around Windsor, Essex area.
So before we wrap up, Niharika, there's one question from my side. So we all know about the living cost in Canada, especially. Yeah. So has it gone up or has it gone down because, I mean, due to the COVID situations that we are having? So what a student should expect right now?
I think Dina would be able to answer that question better since she is based in Windsor at the moment. I leave it to you, Dina, to take this up.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a really good question. Overall, if students choose to live in big cities like Toronto or Vancouver, the price overall is pretty high. And I think the groceries price has gone up a little bit in the past year because of the pandemic. I think this is very similar to the worldwide. However, Windsor's price still remain a lot more affordable, because I usually have a couple of examples to compare the price. In Windsor, if you are paying for a bus, like a bus pass for transit, in Toronto, the price will be over $100, $120 per month, which is really, really high. And then where if you're in Windsor, it is like, for example, if it is a student, and that is usually 80 or 90 students, there and when we had the students in the school and before the pandemic, our students were paying $200 something, less than $300 for entire academic year, 8 months. So when you compare the price, the difference is really big. And in terms of the rental, we have students can find a room in a house for as low as $300 and $400 is easily doable. And where in Toronto, even a bed in a house, it can cost you $500-600 or more, depends on the area you're looking for. So the living cost is definitely a lot higher in bigger cities. And Windsor, the property price, living cost is way more affordable compared to those major cities.
Thank you, Dina. So one more question that I have in mind is, how safe is Canada currently, and specifically Windsor, for the students who are actually looking to travel? Because we will soon be starting with the physical sessions, I hope.
Yeah, definitely. It is really, I think Canada overall has a reputation about being safe and the high quality of living. And then in Windsor is one of the top 10 safest place to live. And when Niharika earlier talking about the life quality, the safety, and then in my head, I had example where I think this was a year or two ago. My husband and I were walking on the street in downtown Windsor in one of the afternoons. And then there was a homeless guy, looks like he was drunk and walking in the center of a small street, not a main street, but he was walking in the middle. And then all of a sudden you saw one cop's car parked here and then another cop's car here. Like there were 6 police cars parked in the center of the city and to check on this guy. So I think Canada takes everyone's safety very, very seriously. So those little details and examples, Windsor is a very safe city. And then I have to say, no matter it's at night or during the daytime, you would never feel unsafe or unwelcome, because overall Windsor is fourth most diverse city in Canada. So people are very, very welcoming and also very, very friendly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what are the vaccinations that Windsor is actually accepting? Because most of the students have taken their shots now in India and they want to go out and study now. So what is that? I mean, what are the situations there?
That's
that-
a great
yeah.
question.
Those details or those things are decided by the provincial government.
Yeah,
Alma.
that's, yeah.
So whatever is approved by WHO at the
Mhm.
moment, the provincial government has allowed those vaccinations. So Covishield is accepted. People with Covishield vaccine, Sputnik is accepted. And there are a couple of more. So I would recommend that the students look at the WHO approved vaccinations. And there are 4 of them, and those 4 are accepted. But mostly in India, people are getting Covishield.
Covishield, yeah.
So that is accepted at the moment.
So I guess that's it from my side. And we have actually looked at all the questions here in the chat box also. Yeah. So we can, yeah.
I just want to add one thing. I think
Yeah.
one of the students asked if the COVID situation at the moment. So Canada, I think overall, the number has been going down pretty safe. And then Windsor is one of the safest place as well. The case has been always low. You see some big cities, they were talking about the hospital beds were full. I talked to some of the nurses, and even at the highest time, our hospital was never full. And we have the patient transfer from Toronto to Windsor, but overall Windsor area and Ontario is much safer than many parts of the world. So it's a really great place to study at.
Yep. I think I just saw a question about TOEFL being accepted in the chat box. I was just running through the questions.
Yeah,
So
I guess
TOEFL,
Dina, yeah, did answer that. Yeah.
Oh, she did. Okay. So TOEFL is accepted, guys. 83 is what we look at when you're applying to this university.
Yeah. So I guess we should conclude this session here. We have already taken a lot of questions, and I hope we have given all the answers what we were looking for. And I hope you people also enjoyed talking to them and taking all their questions. And I hope we'll see you in the next session very soon.
Thank you so much, Almas.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. We had a great time answering all those questions. And thanks, Tina, for joining us early in the
Yeah,
morning.
thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
all.
both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And stay
Take
safe
care.
and healthy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.